things continue to go as I have been, as I felt led, believe I am going to start a bit of a study. I don't know how in depth, on the book of Exodus. The Lord impressed me. It doesn't talk to me. It's just one of those things where while I'll sit and listen, sometimes I'll sit and listen to preaching and something hit my head. And I got to scribble it down. And I write stuff in some of the weirdest places just because if I don't write it down, it'll be gone. So Travis, Pastor Travis, they see me up here. I need something to write with, and Courtney's grabbing something because my forgetter works better than anything else. And so it'll be gone. And so I scribbled it down. And my thought was the journey to deliverance. We think about the Exodus. We don't often realize that was a progression, a journey to actual deliverance. There were stages to their actual deliverance. And that's what hit my brain. Hopefully that I can do it justice when I get to bringing that out. We want to talk for just a few minutes. I want to finish up. We were talking the other day about the roles of the aged and the younger in the church. And with his permission, I'd like to use Brother Ed's analogy he gave me after service. I wish he gave me before service. Because it was a great picture. And for country people, like most of us here are, and like I am, I got to put things in terminology and context of what I've seen and give it the biblical application. When you see the roles of the aging in the church and the younger, it's easy sometimes for us to get confused in our role identities. Some people think that the elderly need to be pushed out because they want all young bloods in the church. That's bad stuff. Some think that we need to push the younger out. We want all maturity in the church. That's bad stuff too. Brother Ed gave me the illustration I thought was absolutely remarkable. It was phenomenal. It hit and it just made so much sense. Back in the day, people used to plow or use mules and horses to do all their hard work, right? We didn't have tractors. They used animals to pull. You didn't want to have to completely break and train a new one every time your mule got old. It took so much time to get the one to learn to do what it was supposed to do, to follow your commands. So what farmers and country folks used to do was they would hitch their young mule up to whatever was being pulled, the log or the plow or whatever. Then they'd hitch their older mule that was already trained and knew what to do. They put him up front. The young mule, strong and able and capable to do the pulling, didn't know how to pull. He was able, but he didn't know how. The older mule, who had been doing the pulling most of his life, was no longer as strong as he once was, but he was trained. So the young mule followed the old mule, and the young mule did the pulling, but the old mule did the leading. And see, that's what we need in the church today. We need mature, older Christians who will lead the young bloods who are coming along, who have the fervor, they have the zeal, and ain't got a lick of sense. How can I say that? Well, I've been one. Didn't have a lick of sense and wanted to hit. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to run. I wanted to get involved in this, and I wanted to get involved in this. And I needed somebody to come along and say, put the harness on and say, you can't do it all. But you can do this, you can do it well. Let me show you how. Folks, if you look at yourself and say, I'm getting older, I don't have a place in the church. You have an important place in the church. Find somebody and hitch yourself to them and show them how to follow instruction. If you're young and you think, wow, I got all this, I got all that I need, and then you start finding yourself going, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. Find an older person, hitch yourself up behind them and follow them. They will teach you things. The church needs that balance, that healthy balance to draw itself together. Because otherwise, if it's all young people, it will explode. It'll go all over the place. It's like watching Owen on a Mountain Dew. He's got energy already. You give him a Mountain Dew, he just sits there going, he just quivers because the caffeine hits that bloodstream, and I actually expect if it wasn't for his skin, his body would just blow apart. Sometimes you watch young Christians, that's how they look. That's how they look. It's sad to see all that energy that can be harnessed and channeled. How many people have said that? Oh, boy, I wish I had their energy. You do. Vicariously. You teach them how to use their energy. You help harness their energy. I believe that's a godly principle. I truly do. Because Paul is getting to the end of his ministry days when he writes to this young gun Titus, this young buck who's walking around. He's got his life left to live, and Paul says, "Listen, these are how we need to do things. Don't make the young reinvent the wheel. We need to learn." But I will say this: you're going to have to learn some patience too, because young guns, young bloods, they don't want this. Your nephew got a little problem with authority. I know what I'm doing. Sure. We all did. Every one of us, from about 16 to about 26, an entire decade of stupidity. I mean, absolute insanity where you know everything and know nothing. A true sign of wisdom is knowing that there's a lot that you don't know. I don't know what it is, why God put that, allowed that into the heart of a teenager and the mind of a teenager to think that they know it all. And they look at you all like we've always been old. Well, you were just born like that. No! I was once exactly like you, maybe even worse. We made bad mistakes and they will not listen. So what we have to do as we get older is with mature patience. You're not going to grab them like I can with my son right now, grab him by the shoulders and turn him and say, no, that way. When they get teenagers, you nudge them. You nudge them. If you grab them and turn them, they'll bow up at you. They will rebel and resist to a point where you will have no influence in their life. They will. And you turn them this way and they go. Or they'll turn completely opposite direction you want them to turn. But you nudge them. And it's going to break your heart. It's going to take a lot of patience, a lot of crying, a lot of praying, and a lot of seeking, intentionally seeking teachable moments. Not, I told you so, but let me show you a more excellent way. That's a biblical principle. Let me show you a more excellent way. That way may have worked, but this would have done better. you'll find out that, what's that old adage? You can draw more flies with honey than with vinegar. If we would learn to be sweet in our spirit, we would learn to be sweet in our spirit, we would absolutely influence more people. Okay? Our doctrine should be free from heresy. It should be in sincerity, which the word sincerity, let's move down here. In all things, showing ourselves a pattern of good works, uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Do you know what sincerity means? Sincerity is actually from a Greek word that means unending existence. Sincerity means not changing. To be sincere, we utilize the word incorrectly most of the time. Sincerity simply means to not change. Folks, we should not be wishy-washy. And as I'm talking to a more older congregation than a bunch of young folks in here, we ought to be to a point where we are pretty much established. We should be pretty much founded. Our kids should know what you think. I've had people that tell me, I don't even ask your opinion. Why? Because I already know it. Good! That's the way we should be. They should know what we stand for. It shouldn't be, I wonder if I can get by with this person. They should know what we stand for. They should know that when they come up at your workplace with some kind of with a bad joke or some kind of story that they want to tell of their escapades, they ought to go, I'll tell y'all guys later. Why? Because I know what he thinks about that. He's not going to laugh. He's going to throw a bucket of cold water on the whole experience. Folks, we're the cold water. We're supposed to be. We're supposed to be that salt in the wound. We're supposed to be that light that sends the cockroaches scrambling for the corners. That's just what we're supposed to be. Exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters and to please them well in all things, not answering again, not purloining, answering again, not talking back. In your job, just do it. I wrote, I got an office now at the office. Since I got my little promotion, they put me back in a little room. All I got on the wall is a marker board, a dry erase board. And so from Ecclesiastes, I wrote the verse, whatsoever thy hand finds to do it all thy heart. Whatever you find to do, put your might behind it. Don't cut corners, just do it. He's not telling masters, let all your slaves go. He says, slaves, you can serve better by doing what you're told to do. If you read the book in Bible, Philemon, you get the story of Onesimus, the slave. He ran away. Yes. Paul sends him back with a nice letter, of course. But Paul doesn't say, Philemon, you're supposed to let all your slaves go. He tells Onesimus, you're supposed to serve your master. But master, you're supposed to treat your servant well. Not purloining, which means embezzling. The word translated means embezzlement, or taking that which does not belong to you. Showing all good fidelity. All good fidelity or faithfulness, that they may adorn the doctrine of God our Savior in all things. Adorning. Now this is where I want to get in. Paul says, I've laid out the pattern, now you make the clothes. We talked about that last Sunday. Back in the day, people used to lay out a pattern, paper on a cloth, cut it out. Paul says, I laid out the pattern, now you make the clothes and wear them. This pattern that you've seen, this is a Christian pattern. You cut it out, you stitch it together, you wear it. Adorn yourself in godliness. Adorn yourself in the doctrine of God our Savior in all things. I'll tell you, one of the things that has been, and I told you before, one of the things that's probably the greatest issue with the modern church today is a lack of doctrine. We have nothing. We have nothing steady and steadfast that says, this makes me a Christian. Folks, there is a doctrine that is God's doctrine, and that is that this is you Christian.